Are certain trading styles suited better for beginners? I think it's better to simplify when you're a beginner. The one thing that I discounted when I was first learning trading was to not like was to look lower. Like what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is to simplify. Honestly, man, the first thing that I learned is probably the most important thing, and if you only learned this, you'd be fine. And it's trend matters most. Trend, in my opinion, is the number one, bar fucking none. There's nothing else that comes even close to it. Volatility would be a bit of a second, and then momentum is like a distant, it's not even like third, it's like number 5, but there's no 3 or 4, right? So I would suggest trend. It's not going to be the most sexy style. It's not going to be like optimized fully, but it will be consistent and it will be good. And if you can actually just learn how to identify a trend, it's a skill that will always be necessary for trading. And it's probably the easiest thing to learn how to do. In fact, I even taught Elsa how to do it. And if you just want like a quick way to do it, just put it on a fucking line chart, look at where the stop and reverse points are. Are we getting higher highs or higher lows, or are we getting lower highs and lower lows? It should, as always, be obvious as all hell. On a 4-hour right here, where are your highs, where are your lows? Low, high, low, high, low, high. Nothing, in my opinion. Low, and then potential high right here. If it's not obvious as fuck, it's probably neither, and it's not worth documenting. Just personal opinion. But basically, when you are first beginning, to kind of address the rest of your question, it is a good idea to not just learn trend, but to kind of play around with different time frames, play around with different sort of strategies and styles. That meaning like scalping, that meaning trend trading, that means swing trading, that mean maybe even long-term investing as well, and see what gels with your trading sort of personality. Because one of the other important things, and we were actually discussing this in the Discord earlier today, but one of the most important things when picking a strategy is something that you can actually be, or pick something that you can actually be adherent to. it's like diet, right? You can always find the best diet on paper, but can you adhere to it, or can you make it easy for yourself to adhere to? So the best way to handle that equation, beside what we already spoke about, is to do the very unsexy work, which I always go back towards, but this is literally where you can actually make a fucking living for yourself. So I think that it's actually, useful and valuable, but you can go and check out the trading journal. We have it on the Krown trading application. There is a link in the description below. It's 100% free to do as well. You can also do pen and paper if that, if computers don't work well for you, or you can use Excel or Google Sheets or whatever the hell. All of these are free materials. On here, we just have it streamlined for you, and you should test the results that you get alongside these sort of different sort of strategies that you're testing out. So you can also have data to reference it against, because there might be strategies where you just prefer it to be operating on like a lower time basis, meaning not just like the time frame, but how long it actually takes the trade to play out, which this will do for you. It'll calculate it for you. Because some people like myself, I despise going to bed while being in a position. So for me, if I'm testing out a trade strategy, and it has like an average time from start to end of like, maybe even multiple days, it's not fucking for me. It doesn't matter how good it is. I'm not fucking holding it, man, because it'll disrupt my sleep. I cannot operate well without good sleep, and for me, that's a non-negotiable. For you might sleep like a baby in position. I don't know. That's, again, your sort of personal preference, or again, redundant right there, but you get my point, basically, in the sense that you need to play around first, although I would say trend is always going to be good, or it's a one thing that kind of stands the test of time. And it'll always have some sort of an interplay, or at least add some value to any strategy to at least understand it. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for that.